Hold on.
There, you're on. Hello.
Hold on.
You're live. You're alive.
Well, gang, what it is. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching us. What a great morning of fishing with Captain Al Clowers that was, huh, Justin?
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular. I learned something new, and I'm sure everyone else learned something new as well.
Yeah, dragging spreader bars around.
Dragging spreader bars for yellowtail. What?
And he got 4, so who are we to say a goddamn word?
Leave it to Al to teach everyone new tricks, right?
Oh my gosh, she's right here right now. Captain Al, are you going full speed?
Yeah, I got 4 miles to go, so I'm just on here listening to you.
All right, well, we're talking about how you just taught the whole world how to catch yellowtail.
5, they eat all kinds of, they eat 12-inch squids.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Well,
Those spreader bars are big. The bait's on, they're like,
yeah, we
like a
saw
12-inch
it.
squid on the back. Yeah.
Now people are going to be throwing spreader bars for calico bass. You never know.
Exactly. Right? Well, Al, when you get stopped, we'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'm just cruising, so I'm here.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But hey, you and I just were talking about this, gang. 1 month and 1 day. Today's the 24th, right? Or is it the 25th?
2 days. Today is
the 25th.
So 1 month and 2 days. Or no, 1 day.
Yeah, 1 month and 1 day is opening day of lobster season. Can you guys believe that already? I can't even, it's hard to wrap my head around it, Justin. It seems like you just put the nets away.
It feels like I did. It feels like I just got them cleaned up and everything. And then all of a sudden, pull them all out.
And today's sponsored by Promar. And thanks to Promar, it allows Justin and I and the whole team to use the very best lobster gear that's made, right?
Absolutely. 100%. Sorry, I'm getting like a million messages right now. I got to shut my phone off. Otherwise, Kelly's going to yell at me for looking at my phone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at least you have this podcast right now to get everyone geared up and ready to go for lobster season. And normally, gosh dang it, my phone. Normally, the beginning of the season up at Catalina, LA, San Diego, everywhere, the first 2 weeks are normally the best besides the last 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks is really good, except for there's a saying that Dave likes to use, and that's you're going to go out there and it's going to be like the movie Jaws, where there's boats everywhere. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be boats everywhere, but normally I do really good at the beginning of the season. And then the end of the season is obviously the breeding season, and that's even better. So just make sure you're all geared up. You have all your ducks in a row, all your nets in a row. One thing you're going to want to look at is those nets. If they're more than 2 or 3 years old, definitely take a look at them, because that material from pulling them off rocks, pulling them through kelp, so on and so on, will start ripping just from the force of you pulling on those ropes. So just take a look at that, because the number one thing you don't want to do while you're out there is pulling up a net with a big rip on the bottom and watching all those lobsters fall out while you're right at the boat, which happened. I've done it on the live show. I've had a couple rips. My nets get stuck in rocks. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. They get stuck in rocks. We rip them out. One time I had Joey over there, and him and his Hercules buddies that are Marines were ripping the nets out of the rocks. And worst thing is rips. So, yep.
And the really good thing about like what you were saying, and we were talking before we went live, is yes, we got a month. We have 1 month, and it's lobster season. We really got 1 month, because when a month and a day, you're going to be going out in a month and a day to go for the first night of lobster season, gang. So you don't even have a chance to get everything ready unless you're starting right now, because here's, like Justin was saying, and this is how I did it for many, many years. I would lay all my stuff out around now, out in the driveway or out in the parking lot, and I'd put all the nets out, and I'd make sure that none of them had any rips in them. And if I did, I would zip tie the hole shut with some black plastic zip ties. They work just fine. Then I would lay the ropes out, and I would make sure that I had all my rope and they were all marked and they didn't have, because let's be honest, Justin, you threw the stuff in the locker and now you've been fishing tuna and yellowtail and bass, and it's hard to remember which nets weren't ready, which ones are ready. And if we're doing what we're doing right now, we're going to be rolling right through this bluefin. That yellowfin's on its way up here. Yellowtail are biting. The fishing at Catalina's full speed right now. If you have 10 minutes today, 10 minutes next Monday, 10 minutes the next, you might be able to string together to get ready. But all of a sudden, bam, it's the 26th and you're on your way out to go hoop netting for your first trip and you didn't get your gear ready. You're going to look pretty silly, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Always make sure you're prepared. Like some of my nets are new, some of my nets are older. I have nets that are over 6 and 7 years old. And I just have to, it's maintenance on your gear. You maintain your rods, your reels, you get them ready. Same thing with the nets. Get them ready. Like Dave was saying, lay them out on the driveway. I do that with my nets, and I spray them down with fresh water, and I go by every one of them, and I literally give all of them a tug on the mesh. I give it a tug just to see if anything's going to rip, because the worst thing that'll happen is while you're out there and you're pulling up lobsters, it's going to rip when it comes up if you're not prepared. So just do that. Make sure all of them are good. Make sure your knots and everything are good. Tying your knot to the loop on the... See, I even forgot what the names were called on the nets. It's been so long, right? Seems like it was 2 weeks ago and I already forgot all the names. So, so make sure your knot is good, that you're tying your knot perfectly good. Make sure you know the length of all of your ropes, because honestly, in my ropes, they're all different sizes. So I have some that are 60 and 70 feet long. I have some that are only 30 feet long. So I go through all of them. I like to take the buoys, the floats, and mark on the flat side. I don't have to make it big or anything. Just take a permanent marker and mark how long that rope is, total length for that net. So you'll see when we go live, and last year and the year before when you see me go live, I'll ask Anthony or Joey or whoever my deckhand is, Bob, I'll ask them to look on the bottom of the float and how long is that rope on there. And then they'll say, 50 feet, or it's 35 feet or 37 feet. And that's how I know which one's going to go where. Either whether it's going to go in a shallow water, like 15 feet of water, or if it's going to go in a deep water. To me, deep water is 45 feet. So
right.
that's just my deep water.
And it seems, that's kind of been the recipe for, since I started doing it in 2006, 2007, when first started doing this thing, I found that shallow water is the key. But back to the gear, gang. Justin and I are super anal about the gear because it matters more than anything, because people are all, besides watching us live, the people that are on Justin's boat or the people that used to fish with me, they're looking at us because they want to catch lobsters. And if our gear isn't perfect, and if our lines aren't perfect, if our buoy isn't perfect, if our knots aren't perfect, if we don't have the glow light sticks, if we don't have the right bait jars, if we don't have the seal-proof bait tubes, if we don't have all the things that make it so we catch, and then let's talk about bait, because what you did the last 2 years is you made a new business in Long Beach, LA Harbor, where they never sold bait in the dead of winter. Now they sell hundreds of scoops of bait a week that they never, ever sold before, because something that you and we've been talking about it for a long, long time before we ever did the live shows, is the freshest bait, the bestest bait, right? I'm making up words today.
100%. I've seen a post recently also where on Facebook, someone posted, for San Diego, if they can't get sardines, what else is the best bait? Someone said salmon heads.
Anchovies.
So salmon heads is good, but it's more of a nuisance using the salmon heads. You're also going to attract those beautiful sea lions that everyone loves, and I just want to cuddle them with a knife. So it's going to attract the sea lions, and that's the number one thing you don't want hanging around your nets is the sea lion, because if you're going in that shallower water, 50 feet or less, those sea lions will go down and start grabbing your bait tube, and they'll prevent the lobsters from going inside of there, and they'll scare the lobsters away. So yes, salmon heads can work, but it's not the choice of baits. There's other things. You can go to, if there's no sardines, you can then get anchovies. Get the anchovies in the seal-proof bait tubes. What I like to do is I like to have a liner, a pantyhose. You can use that and put the anchovies inside of there and smash them up and then put them inside of your bait tube. Do it that way. If you don't use that bait tube, though, you're going to have bigger issues using any kind of bait, period. But if they don't have anchovies or sardines, what you can do is either go to a pier and make a whole bunch of mackerel, and instead of letting the mackerel just die and rot inside of a bucket on the pier, try to get some ice in a ice chest, bring it on the pier with you, and put that mackerel on ice and keep it fresh. And then when you get home, you can freeze it, do whatever. And then when you go out lobster fishing, you use it that way. Or while you're out fishing, if you catch bonita or anything like that, you can use that as well. The only thing is when you start using a fish that has regulations, like a bonita, a barracuda, bluefin tuna, or any kind of fish that has a regulation of size or limit, you're then running into other issues with Fish and Wildlife where you're going to get questioned. And if you don't have the right answers, you have a good chance of getting a really big ticket. So that's just another thing you want to keep an eye on.
Well, and Brian, we're going to answer your question in just a minute, but Justin just gave a phenomenal amount of information real quick. But the salmon head thing, we're going to go right there first, and we're going to talk about that, and we'll go over a few of the things that Justin said. Salmon heads, Justin and I, we firmly believe in the bait tubes. It's one of our pet peeves. If we don't have tubes, we're just all of a sudden our confidence level starts to fall off. If you try to put a salmon head in a bait tube, oh my gosh, you better have a chainsaw or hacksaw, or you better have something to chop that salmon head up to get it into the tube. And changing the bait when you got a salmon head in there and that bone, and like those areas that you fished in the beginning of the season when there was just epic amount of sea lice. Could you imagine how fast that sea lice would have just destroyed those salmon heads and you would have been fishing with just bones in there?
Yeah.
And then a couple of things you guys all have to remember. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it'll happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it'll happen next month. But if you have a salmon head on the boat, you better have your receipt for those salmon heads. Okay? Because the state of California is very, very proud of their salmon population here. So that's a low-lying, easy ticket for them new fishing wildlife guys to write. And believe me, now that the NGO money's all gone, believe me, they're on a mission to write as many tickets as they possibly can, because something's got to fund these NGOs now. And there's a guy in Washington that took away all their money. So there's going to be a big push. You're going to see more fish and wildlife agents you've ever seen before this year. So just be ready for that. And then the other thing, measurable fish, a bonita, calico bass, rockfish, any of that stuff that you're going to shove in your bait tube or in your cage, that's all a ticket. They might not write. I know you've never gotten written for it. Congratulations. I'm just trying to help you. They can write that ticket. You're allowed 5 bonita, right? Under 24 inches at the fork of the tail. So you're going to stop what you're doing hoop netting. You're going to pull those bonita out and you're going to stick them together to make that 24. You're not doing it. And they're going to write the ticket, because as soon as you cut it into pieces, It's no longer a measurable fish, and plus it has a possession limit. All these things are tickets that are easy for the Fish and Wildlife to write. And I'm not going to argue with you. I don't really care. You want the ticket, get the ticket, have a great day. My hat's off to you. You just help fund the Fish and Wildlife so they can write more tickets. Congratulations. Don't give them the low-lying fruit. Just like we talk about every day about the landing net. I've never gotten that ticket. Okay, well, it'll be a really cool day when you do get the ticket, and we'll all clap and we'll have a little parade around Huntington Harbor for you. But these things that we're giving you are nuggets. These are golden nuggets. Now, mackerel, you can have as many as you want. There's no possession limit to mackerel. There's no size limit. But if you're not keeping them fresh and in the freshest shape, like Justin said, if you're putting them in a bucket and letting the sun cook them and then you're using them for bait, it's not going to have the same effect. And Justin got to see that firsthand last year when they were running out of bait. And he had to go to the fish market and get rotten, stinky mackerel that didn't even look like mackerel when he cut it up. And he was catching on the hottest spots he had. He was catching nothing on them. Yeah. So these things that we're giving you guys today, this is gold. You use it or you don't. We don't. Me and Justin don't really care. We just tell you what we do. And the proof's in the pudding, Justin. No one can believe when you got over 2,000 lobsters the year before. And then how many did you end up with last year? Did you ever sit down and count it? Because I know you've been going full speed.
It was like 1,757 or 56 or something.
That's all. Yeah. That's all. That's still a pretty good year. And the really fun thing about it, gang, is Justin plays games when it's good or when he has a really good group of people like the Your Saltwater Guide group or something where he'll do like Luke McFadden does. Will it catch? And he'll put a feminine product in a hoop net with some gooch juice on it or a lobster log. All that stuff might catch a couple, but I'll tell you what, nothing compares to the fresh bait that we both use, right?
Yeah, so Brent asked a couple things. You get 2 questions that you asked before you asked John Stanley. Yes, we have a trip coming up on a Sunday, and if Dave's not awake to go live, I'll make sure we go live. I have access to it, so don't worry, we can go live. The other thing is grunion. So just like in grunion for lobster bait. Will it work? Sure, anything will work, supposedly. That's a fish. Now, you're messing with an animal or a fish that has a limit. How many grunion is it going to take to put in one tube? It's probably going to take around 15 to 20 grunion to put into one tube. So now, if they're cut up into pieces, they're unidentifiable piece of fish is what it's called. That's the ticket you're going to get if it's cut up into pieces. If you leave them whole and just put slices in them and you have 15 in one tube, 15 in another tube, you can't do any more. That's your limit. You can't do any more than that unless you have multiple people on your boat and then they have to claim the rest of them. So it's just a big hassle. It's more of a hassle doing that than having Fish and Wildlife just come on your boat and say, hey, do you have your lobster cards filled out? Do you have a measuring device? Do you have any lobsters on you? And then if they see one of your tubes with grunion, that's another question they're going to ask you and stay longer on your boat for. So really, you just want to have everything ready to go, and off Fish and Wildlife goes as long as you're set. You don't want them to stay longer because you have a grunion on your boat. So.
Correct. Your interaction with the Fish and Wildlife should be as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
Because even if you're doing everything right, there's something you're doing wrong.
Yeah. That is very true.
I love when they come on the boat and say, hey, Justin, is Dave here?
I know.
There he is. Brian, welcome back from vacation.
How's it going? How's it going, guys?
Your camera is filthy.
Yeah, let me wipe that really quick.
Justin and I are on here talking about hoop netting because I know you guys can't push that stuff out fast enough right now. It's the season. We got a month.
Yeah, we're literally 1 month away, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm like super stoked. I'm super excited to go out with Justin, Pablo, get on those bugs. I still haven't ate everything from last year, but I'm ready to get more. So
Nice. Yeah, the way Kelly and I used to do it, Justin and Brian, is we would eat our last lobsters out of the freezer the night before opening day. That was
yeah.
just because you knew you were going to get some more opening day. So what has Promar got? What's going on? What's coming down the pipe? What kind of new things do we got for our members? Are we going to have some cool stuff for our members this year? We got contests. What do we got going on, Brian, at Promar?
Yeah, so we have some new things going on. Last year we had the Ambush the Season event, and that was super successful thanks to a lot of you guys participating. I know Lisa was a winner. We had a lot of winners here from the Your Saltwater Guide membership, so you guys were killing it. This year we're going to be partnering up with CCA to be doing a tournament. It's going to still be Ambush the Season. It's going to be a lot more prizes, a lot more people are going to be involved. There's going to be more sponsors, so you guys are going to have a lot more opportunities to win some even better prizes than what we did last year. Um, so it's going to be super cool this year. We're going to start promoting and running a lot of the sales and stuff ahead of time through the website. So keep an eye on that. Like if you guys need to get your gear, now's the time to start getting them. Go through your nets. We have replacement nets. I tell this to people all the time. You do not need to buy a whole new hoop net. We have replacement nets. So if you guys are like you go through them, and I know a lot of the times the number one complaint we get is like, hey, the rats chewed through it because all the oils and fishy smells stay in the netting. Replace it. Super easy. We have tutorials on it on the website, and we have YouTube videos about it. So you guys are more than welcome to give me a call or send me an email, and I'll get you guys set up on all the gear that you guys need and helping you guys re-rig it. I talk to people. I've been getting a lot of calls already, some members and asking me, how do I set up my traps, how do I set up my gear. So it's getting there. It's right around the corner. Lobster season's right here.
And gang, while we're sitting here with Justin and Brian, and those guys did a bunch of cool stuff last year, hooping together. And I just
Yeah.
want you to know everything Brian's talking to you about, all the secrets, everything is totally all open book, revealed for everybody that wants to know at yoursaltwaterguide.com. We have everything. We break down exactly how to rig, exactly what bait, how to pull, when to pull, where to put them. There's nobody on the planet. And I was talking to a new member last night that was blown away that we have over 200 spots available for you at the website. These are spots where we go and catch lobsters. These are spots where you'll see Justin, where you'll see Brian, where you'll see Pablo. You guys will see our guys fishing these spots because we're in the game of teaching you guys how to catch. It doesn't help Promar at all if we don't share our information, which you're not going to find at any other website. No one else is going to share the lobster spots. But I mean, come on. Justin's like, Dave, no one's here again today. I'm like, how could that be? It was on the game plan. You're like, I don't know, but I'm going to have to catch limits again tonight here. It's just
They
silly.
they work too. Last year, me and Renee went out there. We took his grandson. We were hoop netting, and his grandson got the biggest lobster that day. His biggest lobster ever. It was like almost 8 pounds. It was like 7.9, 7.10. It was right there. It was a huge lobster in one of the spots that Justin, told us like, hey, it's on the game plan. Go here. No one was there. We dropped down all 10 hoops. Boom. And his dude, it was funny, man. His grandson was like lit up. He was like yelling and screaming. He'd never seen a lobster that big. It was huge.
Most people haven't, Brian, unless they fish with Justin the last few years.
Last year I got mine. I got it on Justin's boat. What was it, like a 9 pounder? That thing was huge.
Oh, we blew your mind the first time you went. You were just like, no way, this is unbelievable. You
It was
thought it
funny.
was all
I thought that
Photoshop.
was normal. I thought every single time we went out, we were supposed to get 50 plus lobster, 40 plus lobster. And everybody was like, no.
People, he's like, what's going on?
I was so confused. I was like, nah, you guys are doing something wrong, dude. I was like, how come whenever I go with Justin, I'm getting 40, 50 lobster, but when I'm going with you guys, I'm getting 3, 4.
And it's
It
only
makes
because
sense.
people don't want to submit to the game plan and they don't think that we're actually sharing the real info. But I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you, and you'll see on the comments, so many of our members, they're successful because they I'm sorry, I'm going to just say it. They submit to what Justin and I and Pablo and Al, we're telling you guys exactly what to do. And there's no reason in the world for us to hide the ball or pretend like we're sending you somewhere where there's nothing. Now, that being said, gang, we're back to the gear thing that Justin and I were talking about. I'm so happy you jumped on here, Brian, because it's gear time.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. Did you know, Justin, that they have replacement nets? How do you put the replacement net on? I've never seen that before. And that's a great deal.
Yeah, it's
Not
super
that.
easy. It's like one of the easiest things you guys can do. Like a lot of the time we get a lot of people hit us up. You're putting them in the rocks or you drop it too close to the spot and you need to replace your netting. You don't need to go out and buy a whole new hoop net. Just, it's like a $15-20 replacement on the netting and it's super easy to do. You just need a couple zip ties and you're done within like, I don't know, 5 minutes each one. It's not very difficult at all. You could do it by yourself. And right now, you get 15% off using the Your Saltwater Guide code YSWG. Go out there and get yourself all your replacement nettings. Get yourself the new crab cages. I don't know if you guys seen. I'm sure you guys have seen them, the blue ones, which I personally prefer those because the white ones, the clips are a little bit smaller, which are perfectly fine to use on like the thinner hoop nets. But if you're using those heavier ones, the blue clips, those things make a world of difference. And I mean, I know Justin's super, he has them on his boat, and if you guys ever pack the bait on his boat, it's a breeze. It's super easy, so it's awesome.
Yeah,
We
so
have a ton of
I,
products.
I will say that if for those of you that do go out lobster hooping and everything, which is probably 90% of you, and for the 10% that don't do it, if you want to experience something really freaking cool, go out lobster hoop netting. But for those of you that do go out, if you're still using those white cages, the white seal-proof bait cages, switch over to the blue ones. It is like night and day. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. So I would
Those
highly
bigger clips,
recommend. Yeah,
you're able to get them on quicker. And you're dropping on a spot, you pull up your hoop net and you want to drop it down quick. You don't want to be fiddling with the clips. You want to upgrade those things. And yeah, Renee's got them on his boat. I know a lot of you guys have them on your boat. A lot of people last year picked them up from the Your Saltwater Guide. Everybody who went on Justin's boat saw how much easier they were to use. So that's something to get on right now. And just go on the website, go to the membership, and watch all the videos that Dave has there. He's going to teach you how to rig them, and it is Dave doing a lot of these videos, and you guys can see exactly what it is you need, and we have it all here for you guys, and we're fully stocked up. We were making sure that, especially with everything going on, we wanted to have everything prepped up for the season so you guys can have a successful season out on the water again.
The other thing I wanted to say really quick, sorry, Dave.
No, go ahead.
Is for those of you that
yeah.
need new gear or new nets or new mesh, new bait tubes, get it now. Here's why. I don't get nothing out of this, by the way, nothing at all. Get it now because if you wait until the week before lobster season, everyone and their mom is going to be ordering it. So you're going to have a smaller chance of getting that. Even though Promar, as big as they are, they will run out. Okay, they don't have millions and millions of these bait tubes hanging around or millions of hoop nets hanging around. They only have X amount of quantity. If a big orders start coming in, they're going to run out, and unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. And I would just
and lobster season is right around the same time as crabbing season, and they use the same gear as us. Up there, they use hoop nets. They use the same, the bait cages. They use everything the same up there. Sometimes they'll use nylon netting, which is a little bit different because they're not dealing with the seals as heavy as we are. But just so you guys are aware, like Justin said, get it ahead. Make sure you guys are getting your stuff rigged up. It's good. I always tell people you want to go through all your gear at least bare minimum 2 to 3 weeks ahead in advance. You want to be able to make sure you have everything ready to go so that on opening night, when you want to get out there and hit your favorite spot, knowing that those big lobsters are going to be there waiting, you want to have everything set up. You don't want to be fiddling with things at last minute, which is typically what me and Renee do all the time. We're always
Look
like,
at
oh, "Are
that
you
lock.
ready?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Cool." And I show up and nothing's ready, and then we're
Nothing's ready.
panicking.
He was physically ready, but he wasn't.
Yeah, we were a lot more eager. I think that's the number one issue is people get so eager to get out on the water they forget that they need to have their gear ready with them too. So get your nets, check all your netting, make sure there's no holes because you don't want lobsters to be slipping through there. Make sure that all of your cages are working and properly, functioning, and all your clips are up to date. If you guys need any gear, 15% off using the YSWG code. You guys get all the stuff that you need. We have tons of little clips and gloves. Make sure you guys are redoing your gloves. I know the gloves, especially if you leave them on the sun over the summer, they'll start to crack, but we have all the gloves here in stock. These are super popular. We have them in extra large or double XL, XL, large, medium. We have them on smaller sizes for the women. We have them in small, medium, and large and pink. These guys here are my best friends, especially once it starts getting super cold and the water's like freezing. They keep your hands like super toasty. So those are cool. We also have, the different style bait cages. This is the original white one. Still works really well. So if you have them and you don't feel like upgrading, you don't need to. But I always recommend people to do it because the blue one is just, in my opinion, it's just so much better. The clips are so much larger, so it just makes it super easy to clip on and clip off. And like Justin and Dave have mentioned before, and they say on the website, you want to have as many of those as you can on board because when you're going and you're cycling through bait, the last thing you want to do is sit there unscrewing and do it. You could just clip it on, clip it off, and just, cycle your bait like that. You want to have, even though you're allowed 10 hoop nets on board, you want to have at least 15 of those bait cages on board, if not 20.
Yeah, I would say 20. And if you already have the white ones, get 10 of the blue ones. And
Yeah.
then that way, and you can start cycling through because everybody's got to watch Justin. He's like, okay, we got to change the bait out. And it's a mad scramble down there because they weren't ready. But he's slowly worked on getting the 20 and everybody else. And it's like he's got the guys now changing the bait in the tube and ready for when the next one comes up. You just clip a fresh bait. Gang, the whole thing with lobster is they crawl when they crawl and they stop when they stop, and there's
Yep.
nothing you can do about it. I don't care if you already have this thing figured out. Let me explain to you something you don't. Is if you had it figured out, you'd be living on a mountain and me and Brian and Justin would be throwing money at you. You don't have it figured out. They crawl when they crawl and they stop when they stop. And you want to be as set up as you possibly can. But I have a question for back when you were talking about this replacement netting. I'm just blown away that you have that, and I didn't even
Hmm.
know. How much
Yeah.
does a replacement net cost for a normal size hoop net? Not the extra large, not the
So the
heavy.
netting is actually going to be the same on both of the sizes. So
Okay.
we recommend the same replacement netting on both. It's going to fit a little bit looser on one than the other. You never want to remove your original netting. You want to keep that on because it's going to keep the centerpiece secured. I wish I had a hoop net here so I can kind of show you guys a better example. But it's going to run you about 19.99, but with the 15% discount, you guys are getting it for a really inexpensive rate. When you guys are looking at getting a new hoop net, you're looking at 50, $60 minimum, right? So now you guys can go and look at something and get it replaced and get it brand new. Essentially, you're rejuvenating and bringing life back into your hoop nets for only about like 17, $18 after shipping and handling and everything. So super convenient. I highly recommend it if you guys, like I said, go out there, check your hoop nets, especially if you guys leave them outdoors or in your garage. It's the number one call I get. Hey, I left them in my garage over the summer, and all the rats chewed through it. I get that call. I probably had already 5 or 6 of them. So there's plenty of people out there who I'm sure are going to need that. And so you don't need to look at getting new hoop nets. All you need to do is put some new netting on there. Again, it's super easy. I'm going to send that video over to Dave and he can play it out tomorrow so you guys can kind of see a quick glimpse. But we have Steve. He's the one who did the video with me. So it takes us 5 minutes tops. And just a couple zip ties is all you need. So
And then Justin, I wanted to ask you, now that they have these replacement nets, how bitchin' is when Joey and his friends rip them up and then you're like, here, you hand them a handful of zip ties and you're hoping they're getting the holes. You
yeah.
just change that net out now. You would want as a guy that's doing it every day, and there's a lot of people that do this now for a living because of us, I would suggest everybody that's doing this for a living have a handful of the replacement nets on your boat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Maybe like 5 of them. I would keep maybe five nets, 5 replacement nets.
There's been
That
times
is-
when you're out on the water and you need to replace it on the spot. And, I'd rather replace it real quick than be out a hoop net and lose chances at more lobster.
I will say one thing. So everyone has to know the laws and regulations, right? Lobster are highly protected in the whole United States. They're very regulated, very regulated. It doesn't matter where you go in the United States. If there's lobsters there, it's highly regulated. So in California, you're allowed 5 hoop nets per person, 10 max per boat if there's more than one person with a lobster card. Why would you go on a boat anyways if you don't have a lobster card when you go on lobster hooping? So you're allowed 10. If it's us 3 right here, we're all on the boat and we all have lobster cards. I can have 10 nets. I can't have 2 or 3 spares in my bow. I can't have that. I can only have 10 total. There is no law saying I can't have a replacement net, not the whole thing, the replacement net on my boat yet. Mm-hmm. Hopefully not. Hopefully it never happens. So I can have those replacement nets. I just can't have the entire hoop net as a spare.
Yeah, so you cannot have the frame itself. That's where they're going to get you. But if you have the netting and all you have is a netting, I mean, that's just netting. At that point, you just have netting in a bag. And it's not really anything they can do about it. So you can easily replace it and get back on the water with a functioning net. So
and the reason I'm geeking out about this, you guys, is because this is such a huge deal that I dealt with forever with the nets. I can't believe that you can replace. I'm just blown away that you can replace the netting. That is huge. I didn't know. How long is this? Probably years, and I've just been living in the States.
It's actually something that we really started messing around with probably about like a year and a half ago. And then last year we really started to promote it. But this year we're a lot more confident in it because we've had them on our nets that we've replaced and we've used them. I've used them on Renee's boat. I've used them on a couple other people's boats. And I mean, they're super easy to just throw on. And it brings new life to your nets. I mean, the frames themselves are going to last you for years. The number one thing that goes out first is going to be the netting, right? You're dealing with crustaceans that have a hard shell and you're dropping it in rocky areas, the net's going to go first. So now you can replace the net and the frame's going to stay good as long as you're not, getting that too hung up. But, and that happens too. But at least now you can straighten that back out and put the netting back on there. So,
or if you hit the net, like Jeanette said, if you hit the net with the prop, I did that last year.
It happens.
That baby up like right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And make sure to get your gauges. Your gauges are super important. You need to have at least 1 gauge per person on the boat, right? So if you have 3 people, you need at least 3 gauges. If you have 1 gauge and you're sharing it amongst everyone and fishing game stops and they want to really be, sticklers about it, they can get you on that. So it's good to get, and they're really inexpensive. Just load up on them, get them for the season because they fall overboard super easily.
Brian, can you show everyone that mesh net?
Yeah, the netting
for the not the mesh one, the one for squid, the squid net one.
Oh,
monofilament net.
Monofilament net.
That guy right there.
What Brian's going to show everyone right now, if you have that net on your boat, that is, while you're lobster fishing, that is considered a lobster net as well. So I want to make sure everyone's clear with this. So another thing is make sure everyone knows your laws. Just do research. We're not attorneys or anything like that. I just know if you have that net on your boat and 10 hoop nets, that is now considered your 11th net. You cannot have that on your boat. So just make sure you keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I spoke with Fish and Game, and we tried to explain it to them. I spoke to somebody out in, I believe it was Monterey or something like that, and I tried to explain it to him, and the guy said, no, I mean, it makes sense. He's like, it's considered a dip net. He's like, but if you're during lobster season and you come across the wrong person, they can technically get you as that as a hoop net as well. So definitely something you want to keep into consideration when you guys are going out there. I know a lot of the times people are like, oh, I'm going to go drop my nets and then go, dip for some squid or something. And if you're doing that, just make sure that you're aware that's going to be considered as a hoop net and you shouldn't have it on board. And to just, opt for some other information. So, I mean, we have just talking about dipping and squid, we have the tall nets here and they come in monofilament. This is the Ace nylon mesh one. But if you guys want to go for squid, this thing goes up to 16 feet. The white one, of course, goes up to 16 feet and as little as 9 feet. And then we also have another one, which is this guy right here, which,
That's the best.
I
yeah,
need to
Danny
mention
Fan, I believe he killed it last year with the squid. He sent me a video and he had his whole boat covered in bags of squid. It was crazy. So you can use those if you want to go for squid. And as long as you guys don't have your hoop nets on board, you guys can have the other one as well.
I got 2 of them right behind me here, gang. I can dig them out. That's the best net I ever got from you guys. That squid, I call it a squid braille. It's that black. You got to have one on. You got to have one on the Viking, Justin. You got to have one on your boat. That's right there, game changer.
I've already got 2 of those on the Viking.
Good, game changer right there, baby.
Yeah.
That thing is
My boat.
the thing is it. I have gotten messages from, and I know you guys don't believe it, but Fish and Wildlife, they kind of are paying attention to what we're doing, and they want to make damn sure, like I said in the beginning of the show, they're coming this year hard and heavy. They've hired a bunch of new people, and they're coming. They're coming. They're going to be enforced. It's the law. So they're not bad guys. They're just guys that are going to be enforcing the law. A thing that's super important that no one understands, Brian, and it's probably the least expensive thing you can buy in this whole lobster thing, and Justin has 30 of them on his boat, is those little aluminum gauges.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one for every human being on the boat with a lobster card, that is a easy ticket to write. That right there.
They're like hand size. They're easy to store away. They're super thin. You can buy as many as you like because they're so inexpensive, and you can just stock them up and make sure that you have them on board. Because, like Dave said, it's really important that you have them on board. And secondly, they fall super easily. I actually, what I like to do is I'll grab some like rope and I grab one of these, which is also a little float that we make, and I tie it to it. So that way, if it falls over, it'll stay floating. And then I just pick it up with like a bait well net or something like that. But if you guys don't do that, or they, slide or something like that around the boat and you can't find them in that exact moment when Fish and Game is there, then you're screwed. And you want to make sure that you have plenty on board. So, at least they can't get you for that. So.
What I say is have 10 of them on a zip tie somewhere on the boat. Zip tie 10 of them together, put them in a drawer somewhere. Those are never to be used. And then you got yours that you're going to use, like Justin's on a lanyard or Brian's on a float, the one you're going to use. But put 10 of them in a drawer, zip tied together. Then anytime they come on the boat, yep, here they are, 10 of them. We got plenty for the people on the boat. Go back in the drawer. We don't use those. It's a weird law. It doesn't make any sense, but the law says everyone must have a lobster gauge.
You know what? You know what else is really cool? Last year when I got boarded by Fish and Wildlife, you know what gauge they were using to measure the lobsters?
The Promar gauge?
Promar gauges.
Mine as well, because that's what everyone else is using.
And here's my gauges for this year's lobster season. I try to use brand new gauges every year, and the reason is because you throw them on the ground, they'll bend, they'll do this, so on and so on. Well, if one of these gauges bends, it's now shorter, so you don't want to get in trouble with that. Okay, so just get a new gauge. They're inexpensive, but look at all these. I have all these for this year. We lose a lot of them. We go through a lot of them. We bend them, we drop them. They'll get a little nick on the side if you're slinging them all over the deck. And we just don't want to take that chance when measuring the lobsters. So,
yeah, it's important, if, like he said, if you're bending it or, you're measuring that many lobsters because you're using the spots that they're giving you, eventually it's going to get worn down and you want to have a new one on there to use. So.
And another cool thing is you can decorate your float, right? Your buoy. So when you're out there and you see a whole bunch of other people that are going around and you're like, oh, dang, where did I put my buoy out? Or which ones are mine? Or someone's getting close to mine, I want to make sure they're not touching mine, and maybe they're going after theirs. Put some of this on it. Decorate. This is reflective tape. You buy it at Promar as well. You can decorate your buoy. You can put any kind of design you want on there. You can make little zigzags all over the thing. You can make it look like a barber pole if you want to do it that way. It's all kinds of different things and different ways you can do to design your float so you know exactly which ones are yours, because you always have to make sure that you're carrying a spotlight with you, just in case. You never know.
Yeah. And if your light goes out or something like that, or your glow stick floats away, yeah, if something happens, you
This
can
is my lobster
spotlight
bag.
it. Yeah, I gotta get you all your lobster gear, dude. You gotta let me know. Gotta get you new gloves, because last time you use and abuse those gloves.
Yeah. So yeah, you just got to remember, everyone, and those of you that have been on my boat and you smelt the gloves and they smell very raunchy, you have to clean them after you're using them, because they get some stinkiness onto them. So,
it's fabric. They will hold the smell. They're gonna absorb that blood. I recommend rinsing them out with some fresh water.
Take like a bucket of water, maybe like 4 inches of water, and do a cap full of bleach and some soap in there, and just soak them really good. Maybe some Dawn soap. Soak them really good for 10 or 15 minutes, and then rinse them off and let them dry out. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because they will reek. They will reek. I remember one time I left them in the car. I went hooping, and I came home, and it was like midnight. I was like, I'm not getting anything out of the car right now, and I just remember getting in the car, and I immediately stepped back out. That smell stuck in my car for a while too.
Yeah, it's pretty raunchy. But yeah, you want to make sure also that you light up your buoys.
Yeah.
You don't have to light them up so everyone in the world sees them, but just light them up so you can see them.
And those are awesome. We have them in blue. We have them in white. They have a strobing effect and they have a solid effect. So what I like to do is I'll put one at the very end that's a strobing, and I put one at the very beginning that's a solid, and I know exactly which is the place I begin and which is the place I end. So I never lose track of which hoops I have to go to.
And if you want to do things the way that I do things, when I go lobster hooping, I do it all backwards. So I left the batteries in this one, and now it doesn't work. So now I have to replace all the batteries in every one of them.
Yeah, all of them come with replacement batteries. So as long as you store them away in a dry area, you guys will have batteries for next year as well. And the batteries are super inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon for like $5 for 20 or something like that. So yeah, and they last you all season. Those batteries will last you all season. You don't have to replace them until next season. Sometimes they'll last you even until next season. As long as you're good about turning them off and make sure that they're always secure. I get a lot of people who send me them, hey, they saw working on me, and then I go and I have them shipped back to me, and I open and I get them and they're super loose, and I'm like, dude, we got to tighten them down. They have gaskets on there that you want to make sure is there. Yeah, I will be at Bass Pro Shops on I thought it was October 13th.
I don't think it's either day. I think it's the 17th or the 18th, but I don't know. It's all up in the air.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. We're going to try to do the 17th or the 18th.
Okay.
Because coming up.
I'll be there. Whatever event it is, I'll be there. I thought you guys were talking about the Star Tournament.
Yeah, the Star Tournament, you'll be at the Bass Pro Shop for that. We were trying to put it around the same time, but Justin and I will be doing the War Heroes on Water, so we'd like to do it the day before, so Dave Hansen doesn't have to fly up twice.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do it then, because for some reason they want me to be there. They think I draw people, Brian. I don't understand.
I don't know why they would think that.
And you know me, I'm super shy in front of people. You saw me out there at ICAST. It was terrifying.
Dude, you didn't talk to a single person. You didn't get on any stage or anything, dude. Quiet the entire time.
I was super shy. I was super embarrassed.
Yeah.
How about that video? That thing was rad, huh, Brian? Even Ben called me and said, "Great job." I was like, "Thank you, you guys."
Yeah.
I did it right in the booth. You didn't even know I was doing it.
I didn't even know you were doing it. It was so funny. That video did so well, and we were like, it was just funny, dude. I got so many people who hit me up and were like, "Hey, you guys were on X, Y, and Z, and did you see Dave? Did you see Dave?" And I was like, "What did Dave do?" I thought it was something bad at first. I was like, what happened? I was like, no, I gotta call him. I was like, what happened? And then it was just you. You killed it, man. You talked about I didn't even know some of the stuff that you said about our products.
No, it was pretty fancy schmancy. Justin and I, we laugh about it every time I play it on Mondays. It actually sounded like I knew what I was doing. And Brian said, did you get a hold of a Valium or something? How'd you talk so mellow? How are you so mellow?
Yeah, yeah, you were so calm that entire video. I
Oh
was
my
so
God.
confused. I was like, that's not Dave. I don't know who that is.
Do you have any of that video of the bass tank? I need that.
I have a ton of. I have to send that to you. I'll
I
send that over
need
to you.
that. Justin,
Yeah,
you should have seen me at the bass tank at ICAST. I actually sounded intelligent, huh?
dude, it was. You got every fish to bite in that tank too. On the super heavy Ikara, which was awesome. That Ikara was way too heavy for that tank, and every bass still went for it. It was impressive.
I I just couldn't even believe it. I thought, oh my gosh, if I get one, some of those bass ate it so deep I thought they were gonna die.
Yeah, they almost got hooked without a hook. It was crazy.
It was very crazy. I had to just totally slack off and wait for them to spit it out. Boy, they love that Akara jig. Now it's
Yeah.
like the hottest jig on the planet, right?
Yeah, no, that jig has been doing really well. It's just getting more and more popular every day. A lot of people are learning to fish slow pitch a lot more. And if you guys still don't have them, now's the time. Go get them. Go check them out. Go test them. Pablo's been using them. I know Justin's been using them. Al's been using them. Dave has obviously used them when we went out to ICAST, and he uses them out there in Cabo, and
In
they're
Florida.
phenomenal.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
and in Florida.
Alaska
Oh,
every day.
and in Alaska, you killed it in Alaska on those. Yeah, and I mean, it is those jigs catch everything, man. They
Let
can.
me
I
find
wish I
out.
would have taken some. I just went on my vacation. There was fish everywhere, and
Yeah.
I was super bummed out because I
Did you
didn't take
use
a.
the new fishing pole?
No, I took it with me, but because of the hurricane, I was like, oh, I didn't get a whole lot of time on land. So every time I was on land, it was like go out, do family things, spend time with my girlfriend, and then it was like anytime I got free time, it was time to go back onto the cruise ship. So it was not much time to fish. But I saw some huge barracuda. Like we were walking off on the port, and there was just tons of schools of just huge needlefish, like thick needlefish. And then they were getting chased by the big old cudas out there. And there was tons of like just I'm assuming perch. It was crazy. I was just dying. I was itching to fish and I couldn't fish.
Brian, tell Justin about that lady at the bass tank, though. She was so
Oh,
mad at me.
dude, it was what impressed me most is that Dave didn't say anything back. Like, she yelled, she in the middle of the seminar, she's like, "Can you stop talking? Can you shut up?" And Dave took a step back. She said it, and I think we were all taken back by it because he even stayed quiet for a second. And then he goes, "Is she talking to me?" That was funny. That was hilarious. And then he still didn't do
Who
anything.
was she with?
I don't even know. She was just with another company, or she
She
was
wanted
doing
to
interviews or something.
she wanted to ask a question to some guy right next to the bass tank about some gloves or some. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm going to stand up here and do a seminar, and I'm not going to talk. What are you, crazy lady?
Wow.
yeah,
So
that was
Tim
fun.
asked, how do I handle the survey guys at the ramp? What do you mean? Are you talking about the? I don't go to the launch ramp hardly at all. Like I haven't seen a launch ramp in a while. Oh no, actually no, I went with Rick Maurer we went out of a launch ramp. I didn't see a survey people. If that's the survey people you're talking about, I'm not sure.
Yeah, those survey people are there just to take the surveys. Tim was wondering, he sent me the message too on my phone. They wanted to take the stones out of his fish's head, and they want to do this and they want to do that. Be as polite as you possibly can, but if it starts to interrupt your flow of your day or they want to start to dissect your fish, yeah, absolutely. You have all the right in the world to not give them your
Yeah.
fish. It's a voluntary thing. If you have time and you don't care and you want them to take that equilibrium stone out of the head of the fish, the oculus, or Odorless, excuse me, the odorless stone, like a video I made with the fish and game lady. That's totally 100% up to you, Tim, but it does take a bunch of time. And that's the one thing most of us don't have is time. And remember, any surveys they do, it's never going to be in our favor. They're going to see too many of something and they're going to say we got to shut it down. And they're going to see not enough of something and they're going to say we got to shut it down. So if you're doing something with the surveyor people and they're just young people and it's a volunteer type of thing and they're not getting paid, so remember that. And it could be your children. Just be as polite as you can and say no. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's never going to go. They're never going to, just like this rockfish thing. They found out all the surveys were wrong. They admitted they were wrong, but we didn't get nothing out of it. They're not going to give us nothing back. Just like on the lobster cards.
The survey never benefit you. So
I have my own opinion about the lobster card. And my opinion is that I'd rather pay the $20 fine every year. But that's just me. And I'm not suggesting that's what you do. I'm not. And I don't want to be, oh, Dave says don't ever say that. I'm just telling you, there's two things that happen when you turn in your lobster card. You're Justin and you have 7s on every date, every number.
And then you have a big chance of getting your house raided. Just saying.
They're taking too many lobsters. We got to make the limit 5. Or you're Brian and you got 0s on every square. And then they say like, there's not enough lobsters. We got to take the number down.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
No, it's never going to be.
Lose situation.
But yeah, you just got to play the tape all the way through. Do I have time to deal with this right now?
Yeah.
Do I have
Devo
time?
asked about Labor Day specials, by the way. Yes, we do have a Labor Day sale. It's going to launch this Friday. Free gift with every purchase. It's pretty much a very similar sale to what we do at every holiday. So check that out. But using code YSWG, you guys get the same discount now. So if you guys want to grab your gear, now's the best time to grab it. You guys don't get the free gift, but if you guys use the code from now until the end of the month for YSWG, let me know, and I will go ahead and throw in a free gift for you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll throw in some sample or something.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then as we get closer to lobster season, we'll have a bunch of stuff. I'll come back on here with Dave and Justin and everybody, and we'll do some giveaways to get you guys geared up for the season. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos last year when we're on live with Justin and I'm on the boat. We always give stuff away, so make sure you guys are tuning into those lives, and especially when I'm there. I love giving things away. I love spending Promar's money.
Do you really hear what's going on, everybody watching right now? Brian is basically asking without asking to come on my boat every time this year. I get it.
Yeah.
Only when I'm there. If you see me there when I'm there, free stuff, okay? When I'm on Justin's boat,
Yeah, I got to secure my spot some way.
Well, yeah, it's a much better to drive than driving to Mission Bay all the time.
Yeah, it's a far drive, dude.
I have to tell you, I'm not running my boat this year for lobster, only the Viking.
You're gonna only be on the Viking.
Gotcha.
He's like, all right, I will definitely be there.
I was about to say, I'll be on the Viking as well.
The Vikings really got a great bed, Brian. You'll love that thing.
I'll fall asleep extra. No worries.
Red count sheets. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that's another thing, everyone, is there's no boat too small or too big that you can lobster off of, that you can't lobster off of. You can lobster off every single size boat, from a paddleboard, literally a paddleboard, all the way up to a 150-foot bad company yacht. You can do it on every single boat out there. And if you don't know how to, if you remember Your Saltwater Guide, there's many, many videos. All you have to do is on the top right in the search engine, type in lobster. Just type lobster, nothing else. Lobster, and you're going to get more videos than you've ever expected to even see about how to lobster fish. And it shows you the correct way to do it. And it also tells you, instead of just showing you, oh, this is the wrong way, boom, all of a sudden we hit something. it tells you the wrong way of doing it as well. So there is a correct way of getting it on any size boat, paddleboard, kayak, or anything like that. And then there's also a wrong way. So we just, at Your Saltwater Guide, we really strive to make sure that you succeed. That's our number one goal. And it's a big, giant family. So, yeah. That's
And
all.
you never have to wonder. We take all the wonderment away, and I'm giving you guys free access. Like a lot of guys will jump in there for the free access and they think they're just going to get some lobster spots and get in and get out. The next thing they know, they're like, whoa, wait a minute. The community, the hot spots, the game plans. Game plan comes out every Thursday. It's going to show you exactly where you need to be on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like Brian said, him and Renee were blown away. They went there and they caught a bunch of lobsters. They were like, are you sure this is where Justin said to go? He's telling you where to go to catch lobsters?
Big ones too.
Right underneath the Queen Mary, baby.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. And like, it's funny because I've only been with Promar for about 2 years now. And prior to that, I had no lobster hooping experience at all. And between, obviously coming onto YSWG and going fishing with Justin all the time, I mean, I can answer almost every question just off of the knowledge that they've shared with me. And I'm still learning, but it's incredible the amount of knowledge that they're willing to share with you. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have a job here at this company. They taught me more about what I should do and how I need to be, within the industry than anywhere else. So it's a wealth of knowledge that they're willing to share with everyone. So
I remember when you started over there, it was just after I did a thing on Let's Talk Hookup.
Yeah.
And Steve was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have this new guy, Brian, come out with you. Okay. I said, okay, whatever. Well, he's going to video some stuff. I said, okay. And then I think Steve came with you that day. I think it was both of you.
He may have. Yeah. I think he came with me the first time. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I mean, every little bit of information that you guys need, like it's there. And, I mean, I learned a lot from it. So it's super, super helpful. I mean, every question that you guys have, Justin has an answer for, Dave has an answer for, Pablo has an answer for, Al has an answer for. So don't take it for granted, definitely use it. Call him as much times as you want. Specifically call Dave every hour of the night as much as possible. He actually doesn't sleep, so give him a call as often as you
exactly.
can.
I'm always up way past 9 o'clock. Way past 9. I'm up all the time. Here, let me. On that note,
schedule, he wakes up at 1:30 in the morning, so call him at 2.
Call him at 2. Call him at 2 a.m. every day. That's when he's his most zen and peaceful.
Absolutely. I'm always in a great mood then. I want to talk to you. Let me show you what Brian looks like hooping. Okay?
Okay.
That was one time.
Thank you, Renee. Renee just sent that to me.
It's not my fault that Justin's couches are so comfortable.
And that was only after all day fishing and then hooping.
Oh, God, that's freaking hilarious.
But Renee just sent me that, so I had that there before we ended.
Yeah, I was pretty knocked out on that trip. That one was bad. I came in sick, but I was like, I'm still going to go.
Right.
But that's the key. That's how you catch lobsters is you lay down on Justin's couches. They're super comfortable. Just bring a blanket and you're good.
And bring your lobster card so we can make
your lobster card.
7 for you.
Yeah. You can collect your lobster at the end of the trip.
Yeah, and you just get to take your 7 home and you had a nice rest. Everything's good.
It's like Rylan. I think Rylan and Brian are the same. As soon as they get on the boat, out.
Rylan's good for the first 2 hours. He's phenomenal. And then forget about it.
He's out. When we go to Catalina, he's always sleeping. Always sleeping. And then as soon as we get there and anchor, okay, are we here?
It's exactly how I am. Every time I go out with Renee, I'll stay up on the top and I'll be there and I'll talk to him for about 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go grab a water. The water's in the bag, but I'm going straight down to the bunk, and I'm out for the rest of the drive. I feel bad every time I wake up. I wake up as we're getting there, and I come back up. I'm like, oh man, I was like, are we here? He goes, yep. He's been driving for 2 hours, no talk. I feel terrible every time.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Well, gang, as you heard, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up with Your Saltwater Guide and Promar. The partnership is incredible. The relationship that we have with Promar and with Brian and Steve and Ben, it's just absolutely a symbiotic relationship. We both are helping each other as we move forward. And then you get on Pablo's boat, Justin's boat, Al's boat. You can't help but trip over the phenomenal amount of Promar products on all these boats. And as you watch all of our members, they're all using Promar products because, first of all, they're the best. Second of all, they support Your Saltwater Guide. So check it all out. Looks like Brian just got a phone call. The QR code is up on the screen. If you see it, use it. 15% off. Don't get overwhelmed by this giant number. Start ordering now, a little bit at a time, right? Get a little bit now, a little bit more, so you don't have to get hit with a $2,000 bill for all your stuff. Get a little bit, and then you'll be ready when the season kicks off, which is less than a month and 2 days. Justin will be pulling hoop nets over the rail.
Yeah, and for anyone that wants to go hoop netting this season, not this year, this season with me, let me know within the next couple weeks. And I try saying this all the time because seriously, things are going to book up really fast. I'll get booked up really fast. So if you want to go, if you want to get on, the open parties are the hardest, okay, everyone? Because it's hard to just gather a bunch of people. So if you want to go, you can just book a date, charter the boat, and then we can find people if you want to do it that way. Or I don't know. We'll figure something out. But the open parties are the hardest for me to get going.
And
so if you want to go, book up quick.
Yeah, you better, because another thing I'm going to tell you is as soon as he shows Matt and Heather this hoop netting thing, you could pretty much forget about it. Matt and Heather are going to want to take their friends every flipping night to get lobsters.
Yeah.
Lobsters are kind of
told them. So in case everyone's wondering who Matt and Heather are, they're the owners of the Viking. And I already asked them, do you want to go lobster fishing? And they go, yeah, we love lobster.
Yeah.
I may know a couple spots. And they're like, oh, great. So it's true what Dave's saying. But they're working around my schedule. So if I show them on my calendar that I already have dates booked up, they're then not going to book me for that day. So like I said, within the next couple of weeks, if you really are wanting to go with me this season, then let me know, please. Let's put a date on the calendar. Otherwise, it's going to get booked up. And if anyone needs help while you're out on the water, I'm always there for you. But I'm only there for Your Saltwater Guide members. That's it. So,
Brian, you got anything to throw out there before we close out the show?
No, just like I said, if you guys want to start gearing up now's the time to gear up. Now's the time to get your replacement nettings. If you guys have questions, call into the office, ask for me directly. I'll pick up the phone. You don't deal with the robot. You don't deal with AI. You call me. I pick up. I'll talk to you. I'll give you exactly what you need. And just make sure to get your gear ahead of time, like Justin said, like Dave said. Labor Day sale is this upcoming weekend, so if you guys want to grab some stuff then. If not, the discount, Your Saltwater Guide, code YSWG, you get the same discount that we're going to be running during that sale.
And my buddy Devin, he said it perfect. You order something from Promar and it's at your house the next morning, if not that day that you order it. It's pretty unbelievable how quick their shipping is. So, Justin, thanks for jumping on with me today. Everybody that watched today, and hopefully Al gets off the phone here soon. I know I'm paying for Starlink so he can talk to his friends when he's out on the water, and that's pretty nice of me. But
and also remember, everyone, Dave and I are going to be doing the seminar at Bass Pro Shop. It's probably, I messaged the guy at Bass Pro to find out what day it is, but it's probably going to be the 17th or 18th of September. It's going to be one of those days. So if you maybe have missed something that you didn't get for hoop netting or something like that, I'm sure there's going to be some wink deals over at Bass Pro on Promar products. So make sure you come and see us. It's not going to be strictly a that I know of, okay, so don't take me on this. It's not going to be strictly just a lobster thing. It's going to be lobster and fishing for fall and winter style fishing, because as everyone knows, we fish all year long. Woo. We don't stop fishing all year long. We fish all year because there's always something to catch.
Yes, indeedy, Jelly Beanie. So, gang, it's in Gardena. The Promar shop is in Gardena. And they have a beautiful showroom. And when Rylan goes there, he feels like he's in a candy store. It's a little overwhelming.
Madden too now.
Oh, now Madden too.
Yeah.
And then Matt Ryan went there one day and he was just blown away. He's like, oh my God, this is like, yeah, it's the greatest. The showroom in the front is second to none. You get to see all the product and touch it all while you're there. It's pretty spectacular. And they open it up to your Saltwater Guide members. If you want to go up there and go for a tour of the place, just give me or Justin a call. We'll get you set up to go see Brian up there. You know, you can't just walk in off the street. That doesn't work. It's a warehouse. That's where they do all their work. But if you want to go see, let us know. We'll get you in. And Justin, I'll see you tomorrow with Michael Folks. Are you going to jump in for a few minutes?
I will try. I may be at Hogan's Tackle tomorrow on Dana Point. So
all right, cool.
I'll try.
Okay. Well, Michael Folks will be on with us tomorrow. Or the guest that was going to be with us doesn't know if he's going to make it or not. So we'll see. It's all dependent on this weather right now. We're in the heat of the season, and the weather is kind of weird right now, right, Justin?
Yeah. So in case any of you are aware, I had charters and stuff booked this week. But if you look at the weather is crap. It's all wind all week long. So we're going to try to figure something out here. Hopefully something changes. So, yep.